What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? It's your boy Enlightened Luciferian Prince coming at y'all once again. This video, I want to elaborate a little bit more on secure transactions and to give a little bit more clarity and a little bit more insight and a definitive point from a commercial standpoint from the Uniform Commercial Code about secure transactions and Article 9. Now, as I said in my previous video, a lot of states have made provisions in their statutory codes and their laws, rules, and regulations that coincide with the usage of what is also known as the Uniform Commercial Code. Now, the Uniform Commercial Code is how we do all commercial business. So, as I tell people, as time elapses in your education or your period of time that you're actually learning these processes, you need to learn that everything that you do from this day forward, and you embarking upon this path and this particular knowledge is a business transaction. It's not legal. It's not justice. It's not about all these bywords that they use to, obfuscate you from the truth about the methodology that's behind the commercial scheme of America. It's all business. It is commerce. I don't care whether or not it comes to a traffic ticket. I don't care if it's to a criminal charge. I don't care if it's even going to make a simple purchase, such as or even contracting as far as getting a loan or whatever. It's all contractual. Once you understand and you understand the deeper medium or the legal significance behind the definitions of what contracts are, then you can start to gain a little bit more footing in this concept, and you can start looking at the world from a more abject standpoint than more of an objective one. What do I mean? You can start looking at things in a different perspective as opposed to how things are presented to you. Everything presented to you is an offer. It is something that someone wants you to have. It is something that someone is offering you because they're oftentimes trying to take something from you. The problem with a lot of people in this country, especially at a time like today, is that they don't want to be accountable for their commercial endeavors. The sad part is, I think that the divide and conquer tactics they're using out there socially when it comes to these people complaining about these Asian hate crime bills. Notice what they are. They're bills. These bills that they're passing, these are bills. Now, when you take a legal dictionary and you look up the word bill, then you'll start to understand a little bit more about the complexities of what legal jargon actually is disclosing to you, but at the same time it's telling you something, but it's not telling you anything at all in a generalistic sense. So what I try to implore people to do is to stop looking at a corrupt, bankrupt, broken system to try to fix your socioeconomic problems and start taking the accountability upon yourself and start looking at the abject point of view and stop looking at the objective. People that are melanated, I will tell you the truth. You need to be the first people who actually need to sit in the front rows in these classes and start to learn how to become your own headmaster and your own underwriter. Stop looking to a broken system to fix you because it's not going to work. Stop looking to the captor to set you free. It's not going to work. Only you have the knowledge, or should be armed with the knowledge and the proper preparation to get yourself out of these systems, to get yourself from out of these constructs. There's nobody that's going to come save you in this construct. It's corrupt. It was built upon that precept. I don't care what nobody says. Study the history books. Study whatever books you wish to. Study the annals of history. Study time. Study whatever you wish to. It's all built upon the same precedent. The way that this system works is that if it's not broke, they're not going to fix it. See, you have to also understand that you have the momentum as a sovereign or as an indigenous person on this land to actually be your own autonomous fixture in regards to your own personal limited sphere. You're limited, but you're unlimited as far as your sovereignty is concerned. You don't need nobody to draft up no goddamn bill to try to sit here and try to save you from itself. You can't ask the beast to save you from the beast. The beast needs to eat. And when you take your economic power and you place it back into yourself, then you actually have to realize that now you're starving the beast. Stop asking something to save you that's not going to save its own self. Be realistic. And then when I say this because it coincides a lot with a lot of what's going on today in society. As long as they can keep people fearful, as I said in my previous videos, they can keep you fearful, they can keep you debt-laden, they can keep you bothered, they can keep you weak, they can keep you in some sense of a sort of mental bondage. They got you. But see, on my channel, it's about emancipation, it's about light. It's about personal freedom. It's not about no freedom that comes from a piece of paper. It's about the paper you make yourself, that you actually draft yourself with your own cognizance, your own knowledge, and your own discipline, and you put it together and you execute it, and therefore you don't have to ask somebody for shit. Period. I know a lot of times I say on my channel, this is not anti-government, but this one is. And I can really say it because guess what? They're saying fuck you at every step of the way. Don't care who they trample upon, who they step upon, don't matter. They don't care. I'm showing you in these steps how you can actually take that power for yourself and put it back to yourself. That way you can magnify yourself thricefold. Let's talk about it. A secure transaction is a loan or purchase that is secured by collateral. Usually in most instances, it's usually signature. Okay? It involves a borrower or buyer, technically known as the debtor, which is usually the straw man entity, as we know, through simple secure transaction explanation. And a lender or seller, which is often the default party, such as the United States Incorporation, technically known as a creditor, which usurped the position from your trust association to a social security number, which then switched itself as a beneficiary and made you the trustee. And more specifically known as a secure party, which is the United States is not secure at all. It's bankrupt. Can't be a creditor and be bankrupt at the same time. Common secured transactions include a bank loaning a business money so that business can buy inventory, or a company selling business equipment on credit. In these transactions, the business is the debtor, the bank or the selling company is the creditor, and most likely the inventory or equipment will be the least part of the collateral. Under Article 9 of the Uniform Commercial Code, which covers secured transactions, in order for a creditor to become a secure party, that is, a party with legal right to take possession of collateral in the event of a debtor's failure to pay. That is, a party with legal right to take possession of collateral in the event of the debtor's failure to pay, such as a person who's out on bond. And, that person's bonded to the court. Bond, if you look at, the particular legal definition, it means a certificate. And a debtor's failure to pay is usually called default. The creditor must take special steps, such as securing the surety, i.e. arresting the person who has opted out or had failure to actually perform on the bond or dishonored the particular performance. The creditor must take special steps. These steps are known as attachment of a security interest. Yes, people, I said it right. Attachment. Moreover, in order for a secure party to more fully ensure its legal rights in the event that other parties are asserting an interest in the same piece of collateral, the secure party must take additional steps. These additional steps are known as perfecting a security interest. Here we go look at both attachment and perfection of security interest. Pause. Don't want to scramble your brains too much on that one. What I'm saying is this. These people are particularly doing something fraudulent. If you look up the legal definition of the word straw man, it says that it otherwise allows law to do something that otherwise is impermissible. Something that is considered impermissible is illegal. Now, it only becomes legal with your consent because you, being the individual who is the, quote unquote, the non-compos mentis party or the otherwise non-mentally competent person to the contract, you don't know no damn better. And so they're going to take you on your word. You don't know no better. So they're going to bring an attorney. They're going to bring an esquire. They're going to bring a barrister. Well, not in the United States. I'm calling barrister. But they're going to bring an attorney. They're going to bring a lawyer. They're going to bring somebody, anyone other than a counselor or a barrister, to assist in the transition of the surety to the transition of the state. They're going to turn you over. So I don't give a fuck. Like I tell people all the time, if you're watching this around kids, please pause this video and please escort them from your presence. But at the same token, I don't give a fuck if people buy a lawyer. I don't care if you purchase their services. They're going to fuck you over because that's the way the scheme works. The legal system is built upon centuries upon centuries upon centuries upon centuries of fucking fraud and misrepresentation. I said it in a previous video before. This goes all the way back to the 13th century. Codex Justinian, the Pandects, when the law was corrupted, when they turned people from natural people into fictions. And then they implemented that act through the Act of 1666, through the Sesta KV Act of 1666. Come on now. This shit is not new. You know what I'm saying? Here it is, 2021, and yet you still have people who are still sitting here trying to argue the legal lefts and rights with people who are still obligating to a system of corruption. You're not going to get past that. That's the way it's built. That's the way it is. So all you people that's walking around here in this country talking about your plaque and all this shit, get a Black's Law Dictionary, Look up the definition of the word black. Look at what it is. You have no standing in law. You have no rights. You have nothing. You are a nobody. You see what I'm saying? So when you start calling yourself indigenous, when you start using that title, you start using that and asserting that, now what you're doing is actually giving yourself some sort of status and nationality before these faceless motherfuckers, because they don't have nationality. Any person that's actually of Eurocentric identity needs a green card. People be like, well, what do you mean? They're not from here. They convince you that you need some sort of identification to identify you when they actually change your distinct appellation to be what? Indigenous, Negro, colored, and then a Negro, then African American. Then they switched it so many times. And I specifically direct this to melanated people because you have to realize you are the only individual or group of people that are melanated who's had their identity switched. See what I'm saying? See, when you actually understand the actual role of indigenous people, you are a inheritor of this land. They just taught you through the public school system that it was always about slavery. That's where it began. Slave, 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 ship, 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 ships, work, 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 work. And that's what it was. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Then they convinced you through certain mediums of public full system education that Pacific Islanders or, Pacific Westerners or individuals who actually were indigenous people. That is bullshit. Straight up. Straight up. Straight bullshit. And what did they do? Once they took your identity, they took your birthright. Once they took your birthright, they took your status. Once they took your status, you had no nationality. Once they took your nationality, they took your land, and now you're a nobody. So now you fit into that slave narrative. Because guess what? You might have not worked the plantation, but you damn sure work a job. Same thing. If you look up the word employee and you look at the word bondservant, legal definition, bondservant and slave is pretty much the same thing. An employee is the same thing. But the only thing about an employee is a person who could actually terminate their actual length of employment whenever they chose to. See, when they put the whole slave narrative on things, that meant that you couldn't terminate your job. That's why people were running. They were taking off. They was leaving because they knew that in order for them to actually be free, they had to have first came from a prior state of freedom to actually experience bondage. Think about it for what it's worth. Now, this is a primary fact. Now, as time goes on, they're trying to rewrite history. They're trying to rewrite law, and they're trying to rewrite things. But one thing I can tell you that they cannot rewrite is this, because this is how they govern their law. They can only update it. They can only bring it up to speed. But as long as they can keep you outside of the implementation and practice of it, they can keep you on the plantation. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm just being real. This is the truth. This is the 100% truth. You see what I'm saying? So as you are an employee and all you people filling out them 1040s, you keep lying to the IRS every year saying that you are a federal employee. If you look at the OMB number on the upper right-hand corner, that number corresponds to federal employees. If you don't work or haven't worked or ever worked for the federal government, you don't need to pay taxes. That's a proven fact. That law that corresponds to that office management and budget number on the 1040 form, yeah, that's for federal employees. So every time you fill out that form, you're lying. Or you're being misrepresented, because what it is saying that your labor equity can actually be taxed. And that means that anytime that you deem yourself the same tax assessor against yourself, they can take it out of your wages, not your income. Look up the legal definition of income. You'll see exactly what I'm saying is very true. So in order for you to understand what it means to be autonomous, you have to first practice the actual competency and discipline in regards to what autonomy is. You have to be autonomous in your own right to basically be able to assert conscientiously that what you're saying and what you're practicing is very true. See, one thing about me, I never skip off the beating path of the black and the white. See, I stick to the receipts. That way, if naysayers come along, I didn't make this shit up myself. I didn't write this stuff. I didn't make this stuff. This stuff was existing before I was even born. I'm just cognizant enough to be able to be aware that I know at as a young age as I am that they've been digging us around for a long time. I don't give a fuck if you're 60 years old, 70. I don't care. That just meant that you're just a little bit older, a little bit further along the way where they didn't got you damn near to the end of your life. And if you're a little bit younger than me, you know what I'm saying? Hey, congrats. Stick to the script. And if you're our age and in between, you know what it is. There's work to be done. You see what I'm saying? And the thing is, I know that this country, just look at the cult and the sickness that people live with, the cult mentality and the sickness people live with, they are still sitting here, as I said in my previous video before, banking on somebody that actually supposed to be president in the next 4 years, and they don't even know if they're going to be here in the next 4 years. Well, 3. Well, yeah, 3. So they don't even know. You see what I'm saying? Presumption is a very dead-end street. So when I say this, I say stop looking to these so-called demagogues, these pedagogues that's out here, see what I'm saying, to try to, if you look at the definition of pedagogue, you know, it means to lead the infants to school. You see what I'm saying? And that's the Greek definition. That's where it stems from the Latin root pedagogos, which basically particularly means a person who is a schoolmaster, a headmaster. And that's what they want. But you have to learn that in order for you to be totally socially free, you have to emancipate yourself from the constructs that they set for you. Because remember, you don't need you don't need somebody else's hand to teach you how to swim. You got to do it on your own. And I noticed that the factors that the government has totally placed on people to make them totally dependent, see what I'm saying, to make them believe that they need them. They lie all the time, you know, at every step along the way. You see what I'm saying? They lie all the time. I don't know why people fall for the 4-year okie doke. It's like y'all hit snooze every fucking 4 years. You hit snooze. You sit here, you witness what people do for 4 years, and then you go ahead and just, here goes the alarm again, and then you just hit snooze again, and you're back into it. So now you done wasted 8 years. Okay, so now you done wasted that. And now here comes another 4 years. What you got? That's 12 years. That's 12 years that you done sat in the muck and mire of a country that ain't did shit for you. They never will. You see what I'm saying? Never will. Never have, never will. I don't give a fuck what color you are. They can't tell me shit. You did just have a semblance of people who actually are out here getting rights because that's the trickery. They want people to believe because that gives them the base. But then you have to realize that they're appealing to a minority base of people who really don't have no fucking goddamn economic clout, no way. You see what I'm saying? None whatsoever. But the people who are the majority, who are the melanated people, who are the people who are majority people on this planet, sleeping fucking giant. Sleeping fucking giant. If you taught your children everything that I'm telling you in regards to research and education on my channel, and you taught them this, and they actually can grasp this at an early age, just think of how much further they would be from the other motherfuckers who getting rocked out of their motherfucking brains to sleep by the so-called quote-unquote establishment. They shoot straight ahead. See what I'm saying? See, the one thing about this country is they don't want to play fair, and that's fine. They don't want to play fair. That don't mean you have to settle to their level. That means that you have to excel above their system of trickery. You have to excel. You have no other choice. You have no other choice. Now, if you wish to languish in misery, if you wish to languish in the quote-unquote social apathy movement, please stop this video. You know, you got gaming channels on YouTube. What the fuck is his name? PewDiePie and all the motherfuckers. Go watch them. Stick your head back in the sand because this ain't for you. See what I'm saying? See, the thing is that I say a lot of stuff on my channel, but it's all well-rounded because you have to realize I'm a part of the Iroquois Nation, the Iroquois Confederation. I don't give a fuck about the United States government. I don't care. I don't care because it's a system based on fraud. It's bullshit. If you notice, they even stole a lot of their constructs from certain confederations of the Iroquois people. They stole it. Why do you think they always say chief judge? Chief. Where do you think that came from? Where do you think it came from? You think they made it up? No, because they gave it to you in a semblance prepackaged form that it meant most important, which it does in the Iroquois Nation, which it does. That means that it don't go no further than here. When you talk to the chief, it don't go no further. There is no sovereign higher than the chief. See what I'm saying? So they stylized their system off of the 4 constitutions, and then they amalgamated it into one constitution, which is fraud from its inception. I'm willing to debate anybody on that shit. Now, we have 4 constitutions. They got 1. Not to mention, they switched it into corporate format circa 1871 DC Organic Act. Fuck this thing. This shit is a lie. Not to mention, it's an ultra-virus. It's an ultra-virus government, which means it actually operates outside what is called colorable jurisdiction. So in other words, it's acting like law, but it's not law. That's why I call it color of law. Meaning it has a semblance of law, but it only works because we implement force in order to make it work. That doesn't make it right. It just means that we use force. That's why you got these so-called European people who came in the early 1700s. Might is right. I bet it is, because you can never make people acquiesce to something that they can never really actually agree to. So what they had to do was diminish the numbers drastically of the indigenous people, and then they can totally try to negotiate, make treaties and all these other things to bring them into a certain field of submission. But those are the Pacific Islanders. What about all the other indigenous people who are on this land, who are already here? See what I'm saying? Remember what I told you. People who want to escape slavery, quote unquote, already had a previous existence of being free. Yes, people, it's very real. And once you start peeling back the layers of the history of this country, you'll start to understand that a lot of shit that I'm saying in regards to these commercial processes are very real, because it's all based upon commerce. I'm just the type of person who knows how to connect the dots in order for you to properly understand what I'm saying. It's very real. See what I'm saying? You have to really get that stuff to your head. And don't be afraid. Fuck that. You ain't got nothing to be afraid of. Listen. Some of the most bravest people in this world knew that when their back was against the wall, they just got tired. It was time to go in. Stop complaining. It's time to go in. See what I'm saying? Just stop with the fear tactics. Stop worrying about the psyops. Stop worrying about the spook that's outside the door that ain't never going to come. Stop worrying about these suggestions that they're giving you. Stop worrying about all this poisonous media, and learn how to think outside your own fucking realm of experience. And start driving some more hard, concrete facts into your life and start implementing them, and you'll see that shit changes. Shit don't change until you make it change. And unless you want it to change, it won't change. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hold your hand, not on my channel. No, sir. I have my own life to live. But it's by the spirit that my creator has given me to lead me to inform other people about this stuff, I will do that. But I'm not going to hold your hand. I'm the type of person, I'll teach you how to fish. I'm not fishing for you because I can't live your life. You can't live my life. But what I can say is that we deal with a common existence and a common experience based upon the notion of the same. We live on the same landmass, the same treacherous piece of bullshit landmass we call United States. You know, the ancient empire of Morocco. They might not like it, but it is what it is. It's the fucking truth. It's period. I don't give a fuck if they like it. Just because you came in and you instituted something don't mean that you're right. You're a fraud. No more than 10 miles square. That's all you got. It's the only parcel of land you got. Y'all couldn't even decide on whether y'all wanted that to be. You know what I'm saying? So just think about it, people. Let me take a sip. That's my chlorophyll water. Get some in your life, man. Good stuff. Anyway, as I was saying, people, do not be dismayed. Do not be deceived. Get your head into some real hardcore literature. Turn off your little social media for a little minute. Turn off you ain't gonna die. Trust me, you ain't gonna die. You're not gonna die. Get into some literature. Get into some paper. Invest in some materials. You know, people get these little loans or whatever. Get you some materials that's gonna make you some money. Get you some material that's gonna make you some fiat. Get some materials that's gonna make sure that you can actually accrue certain things in the near future. Because as you can see, things have already been socially spiraling out of control. Shit been spiraling out of control in this country since the 80s when I was born. So all this shit happening nowadays is nothing more than hypersensualized bullshit. You see what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's hypersensualized. And as long as you can give people control over a certain narrative, then they can always dictate or they can always play upon the heartstrings of the American public. People, stay focused. Do not let these people try to convince you that anything else is happening in this country other than what has already been happening. But what I can implore you to do is keep yourself safe. Make sure you protect yourself. Make sure you protect your family. And make sure you protect whatever is yours. You see what I'm saying? Whatever you earn, whatever you work hard for, you protect that shit. Period. You have that right. That's a creator-given right. Some rusty old piece of paper in no fucking Smithsonian Museum don't guarantee that. Because that piece of paper said, we the people. It should have said, we the people here present today. It didn't say for future generations. It said our posterity. It didn't say y'all's. It didn't say the. It said our. Think about that for a second. Keep trying to tell y'all. You are responsible for your life. You are. No, nobody else is responsible. Government ain't responsible for your life. Get that shit straight. They'll take from your motherfucking existence, but they won't add a goddamn thing. That much I will tell you. You're responsible for that. That's your job. That's your duty. You see what I'm saying? And I challenge anybody and debate anybody on that shit. It's your job. It's your duty. It's your responsibility. See what I'm saying? You got to protect your shit. Don't expect nobody to. Don't do it. So when y'all go peruse these YouTube channels and social media, y'all see exactly what I'm saying is very true. A lot of people sitting here waiting for these motherfuckers to do something they ain't never gonna do. Do it yourself. It is what it is. Somebody break into your house, you fucking kill them. Oh, fuck well. You had no business there in the first place. Now, does that mean I'm going out there looking for trouble? Nope. But if you come past this threshold, you're going backwards. Simple. Man, this stuff's good. Doesn't have really that. I don't do sweets, but that's health right there. It tastes like straight plant. But anyway, people, like I said before, y'all stay tuned. Stay tuned for the uploads. Take my words into strict consideration. Serious, because this is the way it is. It's just the way it is. You know? And I hate the fact that so many of us that are melanated have been placed in a categorization of being passive and obedient. Did you forget that your ancestors were warriors? Or did your balls just drop off all of a sudden? Did you forget that? Oh, I know what it is. Hyperfeminization of the masculine character in this country. That's what it is. And the over-masculinization of the feminine in this country. Melanated people. Don't buy into the hype, people. Learn how to defend yourself properly. And from that point forward, you'll never fail. Don't buy into their scheme. The moment you do, you're lost. And I don't mean lost as far as it has been hands down draw. You lost indirectly. You lost by default. See what I'm saying? So, y'all stay safe. Peace, light, love. Agents, do not contact me. I do not consent. I do not oblige. Don't contact me at all. You know what it is. We are diametrically opposed enemies. So, please, don't even waste your time. I'm not going to waste mine. But for the other people, if it's your first time viewing this channel, like and subscribe. If it's your first time viewing this content, smash the like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You hit the notification bell every time I drop a video. You'll be the first person to actually get the content on your channel. Other than that, people, y'all be safe. Stay tuned for the next upload.